Hello, viewers, and welcome to PGE NH Corner. Um, it's quite early in the morning. Uh, so today we are going to continue from where we ended yesterday. Yesterday we had an introduction of this program where we looked at a few things. We defined what energy poverty is, and we looked at also what are some of the interventions that we can do for the country in response to the energy crisis that we have in the SADC region and Zambia in particular. So that was an introduction discussion that we had yesterday. So today we are going to look at the component of energy matrix. Okay, we look at the energy matrix and then we try to define some of the challenges and respond to issues to do with what is a feeder, because these are some of the issues that customers are having. Okay, so we want to look at what is a feeder, and then in terms of load shedding, is it possible, is it viable for a client running a bakery, a lodge, to decide to have or to apply for their own feeder. So is it something that is tenable? Then we also look at what role can citizens play in this regard to push on the energy deficit that we have. So basically, those are some of the issues that we're going to look at. So I just want to take note of those things that I've mentioned so that we can move together. Yeah, so I said we are looking at energy matrix. Okay, then we are going to look at feeder. Okay, then we're going to look at interventions. What role in terms of the citizens they can play. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I can pick any of the three and then we can start from there. Okay, so many of the times when we are load shedded, as customers, as citizens, sometimes we feel like we should have our own feeder. Okay, we want to have our own feeder so that at least we are not uh, disturbed as many times as possible. And then especially for those that are running businesses, maybe you have a restaurant, or if you have a bakery. Of course, you know, when you're running a bakery, it's a different story altogether, because a restaurant you might be okay, but with a bakery it's quite difficult, in the sense that whenever you are preparing your stuff to bake, you find that once you lose power, it's a loss. You lose everything and there's nothing that you can do. Okay, so then people sometimes they want to opt to go for their own dedicated feeder. It's okay, I want to have a feeder. So we'll define a feeder. What is a feeder? Okay, so a feeder, when you want to talk about a feeder is a backbone. Okay, this is a backbone circuit, a three-phase backbone circuit. We're talking about, when you say three-phase, we're talking about three lines. Okay, when you see the high tension poles, in simple terms, I want to be as precise as possible so that we're moving together. Okay, so in our residential areas, we see those three wire, those poles that are carrying three wire on top. It can be vertical, it can be horizontal. They're just carrying 3 wire. Okay, so that is a backbone. Okay, that is an 11 kV backbone network. Now, that 11 kV backbone, that is what provides us the power that we want to reticulate. Okay, that's the backbone that gives us the power that we can now step down and then distribute in our homes. So that 3 wire backbone is what constitutes a feeder, because that one is coming from a substation. In most cases, it will come from a bulk supply substation. Then from there, it is distributed in these feeders. So now we can name it. It can be a feeder that is looking into a certain direction, which we can call point A, and then another feeder looking into another direction, which we can call point B, another feeder looking into another direction, which we can call point C, another feeder looking into another direction, which we can call point D. This creates flexibility for operations in the sense that each place which have called point A, point B, point C, point D, they will be segregated. Okay, they'll be segregated, and then they have their own line, their own feeder that is now looking at all the integration in that zone, where you can now have different points of step down transformers, which are for consumers, okay, which can give us the power that will go into our homes, which can give us the power that will go into our places of operations, like the bakery. You can have now your own dedicated transformer which can look at your bakery and supply power to your premises or your business unit. Okay, so they are segregated like that because it will not be healthy and ideal to have one feeder looped all around A, B, C, D. In case of a fault on that feeder, you'll find all the places will be in darkness, or they will lose supply. But what we want to enhance here is the reliability. Okay, so we want this component, the power, to be reliable, people to have access to power, and then service reliability. So with the service reliability, then these feeders are segregated. Okay, you can talk of a place like, I'll pick an example, say Kitwe. You have Kana West, Kana East, and then you have Parklands, you have Osakile, you have Ndeke, you have all these places. So now these places within one zone, let's say in Kana East. So within Kana East, we are going to have a feeder that we are going to mark or call Nkana East feeder. Then we are going to have another feeder which we are going to call Nkana West. We are going to have another feeder which we are going to call, say, Kitwe Central, the central town, the central business. Then we are going to have another feeder which is going to be called the industrial feeder. We are going to have another feeder which is a backbone. I'm talking about the backbone feeders, the 3 wire network, so which we are going to call Parklands. We're going to have another feeder which we're going to call Ndeke. Now, what normally happens is, when we have these feeders, so how do we enhance reliability? So we have to create a way that we're going to interlink these feeders, okay, so that we can get supply from any source. So again, the network will create these interconnections, okay. So the network will provide these interconnections so that at least from Nkana East to Nkana West to Parklands to Ndeke, Usakile, we are interlinked, okay? So that we are able to get, in case of a problem from the feeder that is looking into Usakile, let's say the cable has been vandalized, okay, so we should be able to swing or to switch from the other end. We can switch or get supply from a different direction, which can be maybe Nkana West. Okay, so Nkana West will be able to extend that power to Sakile, okay, so that customers are not affected. So this is how this backbone network works, okay? Now, I'm explaining these things to give us an overview understanding of how load shedding is managed, okay? So now, if your feeder that supplies you power in that area is earmarked for maintenance, or you've been load shedded. With issues to do with load shedding, now we are looking at taking out a certain amount of power from the system so that we enhance security and safety of the generation system, and also preserve water, okay, for future use, so that we prolong our generation. So now, you as an individual that gets power from the from that feeder, it will be very difficult for you to think or consider having your own feeder, okay? Because the idea here is to reduce the power, okay? So now, if you're talking about having your own feeder, it will be very difficult, because one, it will be too costly for you, and it's not even feasible. It's not even necessary for you to think of having your own feeder. Because if you have your own backbone, you have your own feeder just for you, one, it will be too expensive, okay? One, it will be too expensive, and it will not be possible to have it in the shortest possible time, because we're talking about the backbone, the 3-wire line. Now, for you to construct that 3-wire line, there are a lot of stakeholders that are brought in on board. First of all, we have to find a path, okay? We have to find a path where this line will pass up to your home. Now, is it possible you have your home, you have your house, you have got your bakery already, and then you want to have this backbone feeder to be constructed from the bulk substation to your specific premises? Is it possible? Is the path, which we're going to call a well leave, are we going to create a well leave from nowhere? Or is there space anywhere available where this feeder will be accommodated to reach your premises? The answer will be no, okay? Because in most cases, the critical space for these backbones has been taken already. So you'll find all the critical space for distribution in terms of reticulation and the 11 kV network has been taken. And that is where you can be provided this service. So it will be very difficult again to start from nowhere and look for space and then create a well leave, and then you have to do the well leave clearance. You have to bring other stakeholders on board. So this is a tedious process, and it will be a very expensive position to take. So in most cases, the best option to do is now what we're going to look at next, so that we address this issue. Or I want to have my own feeder. I want to have a dedicated feeder. Yes, sometimes it's possible. You can have your own dedicated transformer, not not feeder. You can have your own dedicated transformer, and it's possible again at a different level. You can have your own dedicated feeder, but then it must be a new area, and it's possible to have that feeder given to you. But in the meantime, and the best option that one can do is basically to 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 consider having a backup system. Okay, so once you have these challenges and you are usually affected by load shedding because of the business that you are doing, the best option that you can go for is to have backup. Okay, so when we talk about backup now, this is when we are saying what interventions can citizens put in place? What role can citizens play in this energy crisis? So there is need to have a different mindset. Citizens have got a very critical role to play. First of all, we have to look at, before we even look at issues to do with backup, our mindset and attitude towards saving energy. How are we faring? Okay, so most of the times you find we have talked this before in terms of the cookers that we have in our homes. You find these units, they literally don't have proper control switches. Once you just switch on the cooker from the cooker control unit, you'll find all the plates, they come on at once. Now imagine you are cooking, you are preparing porridge for yourself uh, on a 4-plate cooker, but you're using one plate, and then all the plates are on. And what do you do now? You opt to get water, put in a pot, and just put on all these plates, just to make sure that you boil some water and all that. But then the idea is you want to prepare porridge for yourself. But in terms of uh, consumption of energy, energy consumption, you are using too much, even what you're not supposed to use. Now, the energy that you are using is supposed to be used by about 3 homes. Okay, so that scenario is spread across in most homes. You'll find uh, about if you about 5,000 people are wasting power in that way. So the best way we can do is to make sure that we maintain these cookers that we have. There are a lot of young boys that are graduating from these colleges and universities that are sometimes not yet employed. We encourage that sometimes we utilize social media, put up a statement to say, look, I've got this cooker and this is the challenge that I have. I'm looking for somebody that can come through and look at my problem and resolve it. They can be of help, they can come through, do an inventory on your cooker, and then write down or take note of what they can do, and you can replace these switches so that you are able to manage and control your consumption, because now you'll be able to switch on and off and only use what you want to use. That way we are saving, because in doing that, the power that we are supposed to use, it will be used by another individual. Okay, so we'll share this uh, critical resource, energy resource. We'll share this power equally and sustainably. So in doing that, we are reducing the pressure on the grid. Okay, we are reducing the pressure on the grid, and we are helping a lot of us access this commodity. So one, control, usage and control. We are not doing very well because most of the times you find our security lights are on big homes, places. If I was expecting to see this only maybe in compounds and the like, but you find it's even more common in low density areas. Okay, this same Mayad and all that. You find people they don't switch off security lights, they just leave them on like that and they just go for work. Now imagine this is a point or the area which is on supply, and another area has been load shedded. But then the same area that is on supply, there's wastage. Security lights are on, and then somebody is cooking, is just preparing probably, or maybe you're trying to prepare vegetables, but all the 4 plates are coming on. So that is not healthy. So we need to change from that uh, set of thinking and consider saving energy and share it with others. So what do? We have to do, like I have said, we have to replace these cookers. Probably you can get a new one or have it repaired so that you can use it sustainably. Then the energy component that is supposed to be consumed by one individual, it can be shared by others. So that way we'll save a lot of uh, energy. Okay, so it will also help reduce pressure on the grid. Then the other thing that we need to do in the energy matrix component is that as citizens, um, each crisis gives us an opportunity to do something. Okay, so in most cases, you find a 5 kilowatt system is going to run most of your units in your house. It will power your fridge, your double door fridge, it will power your TVs, it will give you the power that you need. So having a backup system, an inverter, because we have to go green. So I will not talk about a genset here in this presentation, and I'm not going to mention a generator in this presentation. Even in future, we need to move away from generators, okay, because the generators are quite harmful to the environment, and we want to conserve this environment that we have. Because if you look at our population growth and economic activities, uh, there is that growth, but there is no growth with regard to the space that we're occupying. Each year, the space is shrinking. Each year, the space is reducing. The population is growing, but there is inverse growth of the environment. So we need to conserve this environment, and we have to adopt these smart energy concepts that are going to help us preserve this environment for future generations, so that even in the cycle, the climate cycle is health for our nation, so that we create that carbon neutral system in the environment. So we are not going to discuss issues to do with the generators, but here we are going to talk about smart and green energy solutions. So each home, if we can have a 2 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt for those that can manage, I can assure you that this is going to drastically reduce the pressure on the grid, and it will also give us an opportunity to trade in power. Okay, so that now during your peak, uh, in terms of what you'll have harvested against what you are able to use, you'll be able to trade power to the utility company, to the grid, and then that will help push back the water on the grid, because instead of now you drawing, but you'll be pushing into the grid. You recharge the grid and then you'll be able to make money. Okay, so you'll find during the day where you're harvesting enough, you'll be able to push and sell that power to the grid. And during the night, that's when now you start using your storage capacity, the energy that you stored during the day, and you start using that energy. And this installation, it will look like a bit expensive at the initial, but believe me, you'll be able to recoup your money within a shortest period. Within the shortest period of 5 to 6 months, you'll have recouped your money, and you will have made huge profit. And permanently, you will have sustained your home, and you're just trading. If you want to even stop going for work, you'll be just sitting home, because power is a very lucrative business globally, and the market is quite huge. Everyone wants to have power, so it would be ideal that as citizens, for those that are looking for what to invest into, even when you get a loan and invest in power. Okay, have a mini grid solar power system at your home of about 5 kilowatt to 10 kilowatt. You'll be able to trade power and probably even supply to your neighbors, and be able to make money. That way, we are going to cushion the deficit that we have and mitigate the energy crisis. It's an intervention response from citizens themselves to help the utility companies stabilize and put in long-term measures that can help them respond to this crisis, to avoid businesses going down. So that way, we are getting the responsibility, all of us, and moving together as a country, unlike the trend of putting the blame on the next person. Okay, look, this person should have done this. Okay, this one should have done it. But what are we doing as citizens? Because this country is our country, and we all belong to this country. And our mindset and our attitude towards energy is something that is going to help this country's economy to grow. So let's not congest our mind with political issues. Let's leave politics to politicians, so that as citizens, we need to be very calm and analyze things with a critical mind and see what best we can do. Okay, so that possibly, if we are to lobby for funds, I'll give you an example. These cooperatives that have been formed across the country. Now, if our interest will no longer focus on things to do with rearing chickens, rearing goats, of course we need food, but then we look at an agri energy nexus concept, where we have now also power. Okay, the business that we are running, where we need power, we need to consume power, we need power from the grid, but now we sustain ourselves. We put up a system that is looking at both. We're able to generate our own power with whatever system. We are harvesting energy from the environment, and then we are running our business that way. At the same time, we are able to trade. We're able to trade this power. I can assure you, you will make more money. Okay, you will make more money. So the focus should change now. We no longer need people that are going to say, okay, I'm putting up a farm, I need power, I need Zesco to come and connect me. That is a very wrong way of doing business now. The modern way and sustainable way of doing business is to say, how are we going to coexist with the utility company? You need to put up something so that Zesco can also come in. Then you become a cushion to the grid. Okay, the utility company also becomes a cushion. A cushion to you in case of any challenges. So that way, we are going to run this country's economy in a more healthy and sustainable way. Okay, so these are some of the issues that we need to harness and discuss and get involved as citizens. That way, I can assure you, in the long run, within 2 years, we are going to see a very huge change. We're going to see a very huge change, and our economy is going to be very, 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 very effective, and it will be very healthy, and everything else will be okay. Yeah, so these are some of the issues that I wanted to discuss with you, and um, I think going forward, we'll be having live discussions so that we're able to interact and engage and have a health conversation on energy matters. So this has been your host, um Edward Sakazanene Chiteta, and I'm your host for PG Energy Corner. So it has been a lovely Sunday morning. Uh, Hoping to have this engagement later on in the afternoon. So thank you very much, and I'm wishing you a lovely Sunday. God bless you. Thank you.